The silent void. The alien scout ship floated alone in the endless black of deep space, its lights flickering weakly, signaling a life in danger. Inside, the crew scrambled to check the systems, panic written on every face. Oxygen levels were dropping, engines were failing, and no friendly ship had answered their calls for hours. Outside, stars stretched into infinity, cold and silent, making the tiny vessel feel smaller, more fragile. Captain Lyra gripped the console with trembling hands, her 3 eyes fixed on the flickering screens. "Life support is down to 30%, she whispered, her voice tight with fear. "We need help now." The crew nodded silently, their antennae quivering, a sign of their growing anxiety. The signal they sent to the galaxy felt like a whisper in a storm. Would anyone hear it? Suddenly, the communications panel beeped. A faint response. The crew froze. Every alien on board stared at the screen, hardly daring to breathe. It was not a known frequency, not from their allied systems. The signal was strong, clear, and human. The voice that came through was calm but firm, cutting through the panic. "This is the human warship Aegis. We received your distress call. Hold tight, help is on the way," the voice said. The alien crew exchanged glances, disbelief and hope mingling in their expressions. Humans. The humans were legends in the outer galaxy, known for their speed, bravery, and sometimes ruthlessness. No one expected them to answer so quickly or at all. "Could it be a trap?" asked a young crew member, her voice quivering. "They could destroy us in seconds if they wanted." Captain Lyra shook her head. "We have no choice. We can't wait for another hour. We have to trust them, or die trying." Her words, though shaky, carried a weight that forced the others to obey. Outside, the human warship appeared as a distant glint at first, then grew larger with every passing minute. Its hull reflected the starlight like a silver comet. The alien crew watched in awe, the sheer size and power of the human ship dwarfing their tiny vessel. They felt both fear and hope, the same feeling that comes when you stand at the edge of a cliff, knowing the fall could be death but the jump could save you. "Prepare for docking sequence," Lyra ordered, her claws hovering over the controls. The alien ship shuddered as it aligned with the Aegis. Every minor movement made the ship groan, metal stretching under the strain. A wrong move and they could crash. Inside the human ship, crew members moved like shadows. Their motions were precise, calculated. They did not panic. The alien crew could see them through the docking window, humans larger, stronger, but strangely gentle in their coordination. There was no hesitation, no wasted movement. Every action had purpose. "Keep steady," Lyra whispered to her crew. "We are almost there." Then alarms blared. A warning light flashed red. One of the alien engines was failing completely. Sparks flew across the console. Panic flared again, hearts racing, antennae twitching. Lyra's mind worked frantically. They had to hold together. If the docking failed now, it would mean certain death. A voice came over the comms again, calm and commanding. "We see your engine failure. We have initiated emergency stabilizers. You will dock safely. Trust us." Something in that voice, firm and unwavering, gave the crew courage. Lyra inhaled deeply, forcing herself to calm. She adjusted the thruster slowly, carefully, feeling the vibrations of her failing ship. The human warship's stabilizers hummed through the docking clamps, a force unseen but felt in every panel and console. Time stretched. Every second seemed like a minute. The alien crew held their breath as their ship aligned, shaking, groaning, metal straining against cosmic pressure. Then a gentle tug, almost imperceptible at first, pulled them closer. A force stronger than their engines, yet gentle enough not to crush them. The docking clamps locked. Silence. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the emergency lights dimmed. The engines stopped straining. Oxygen levels stabilized. Life support indicators returned to normal. The alien crew stared at the human warship, stunned. They were alive. Somehow, against all odds, the humans had reached them in time. A wave of relief, gratitude, and disbelief swept through the tiny ship. For the first time in hours, some of them smiled, even if weakly. But even as hope returned, unease remained. The human ship was larger than anything they had imagined, and its technology was beyond comprehension. Could they trust humans completely? Was this rescue genuine, or did it have a hidden purpose? Lyra's eyes narrowed as she thought of the questions she could not yet answer. One thing was certain. The humans had acted without hesitation, without waiting for reward or fear. That courage alone was astonishing, even for legendary humans, and in that moment, drifting in the silent void of deep space, the aliens realized something profound. They were not truly alone anymore. The first contact. The alien crew's hearts raced as their ship hovered next to the massive human warship. Through the docking windows, they could see the humans moving like shadows, precise and calm. Every gesture had purpose. Every command carried authority. Captain Lyra felt a mix of awe and fear. This was not just a rescue. It was a first encounter with a species that had always been the subject of legends. The comm panel crackled to life again. The human voice was calm yet commanding. "Alien vessel, this is Captain Rylan of the Aegis. We are here to assist. Open your airlocks and prepare for transfer." Lyra hesitated. The crew looked at her, some quivering, others wide-eyed with nervous curiosity. "Do we trust them?" whispered Tekka, the youngest navigator. "What if this is a trap? What if they don't mean to save us?" Lyra shook her head. "We have no choice. We either trust them or drift into nothing. We cannot survive alone." Hands shaking, she moved to the airlock controls. With a deep breath, she activated the sequence. Slowly, the airlock doors slid open, revealing the gap between their tiny ship and the colossal human warship. A silent void lay between them, lit only by the soft glow of the docking lights. From the human side, a team of officers advanced. They were tall, strong, and their uniforms seemed simple yet commanding. Each carried tools for emergency boarding, not weapons. The humans extended their hands in a gesture of peace and reassurance. The aliens watched, fascinated. Every movement seemed deliberate, almost gentle, yet full of power. Lyra swallowed hard, her antennas trembling slightly. "Stay calm. Show no fear," she whispered to her crew. One by one, the aliens stepped onto the human warship. The air smelled different, sterile, metallic, yet not unpleasant. The floor beneath their feet hummed with energy, and the walls glowed with softly pulsing lights. Every surface was polished, precise, and functional. "Welcome aboard," Captain Ryland said, approaching Lyra personally. His voice was deep, calm, and somehow comforting. "We received your distress call. You are safe now. Please follow our medics for assessment." Lyra nodded, unsure how to respond. The humans did not rush. They did not make demands. They simply guided the aliens step by step toward the medical bay. The alien crew could barely comprehend the scale of the human ship. It was massive, with corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly, lights that adjusted to mood and need, and equipment that hummed with quiet energy. In the med bay, humans worked efficiently. Alien injuries were scanned, vital signs monitored, and bandages applied. Tekka watched in disbelief as humans moved with both strength and care. A small cut on her leg was treated with precision, yet the human medic smiled gently, a simple act that made her feel safe in a way she had never imagined. While some aliens recovered physically, others observed cautiously. They noticed human teamwork, officers and medics working without argument, without hesitation, without panic. It was an entirely different form of discipline. Lyra's mind raced. These humans were nothing like the stories she had heard. They were not only powerful, they were thoughtful, intelligent, and remarkably compassionate. Suddenly, an alarm blared softly. The humans moved quickly but calmly, checking sensors and consoles. The aliens froze. Was this another threat? Lyra gripped the console nervously. Captain Ryland's voice cut through the tension. "False alarm. Just a minor power fluctuation in the docking clamps, no danger. Please continue your assessment." Relief washed over the alien crew. Even a small human error was handled with calm efficiency. Lyra realized that humans were not reckless warriors. They were precise, calculated, and fearless in the face of uncertainty. Then curiosity took hold. One of the aliens, Joro, pointed to a glowing screen displaying their own ship outside. "What is that?" he asked. "How do your systems detect ours so quickly?" A human officer approached. "We monitor distress signals across multiple frequencies. When your ship sent the call, our systems locked onto your coordinates instantly. We react within minutes because delay could mean death in deep space." The alien crew exchanged glances. Death had been seconds away for them, and yet humans had arrived without hesitation, without asking for reward, without complaint. This simple act of courage struck deep in their hearts. Hours passed as humans repaired minor damages to the alien ship, upgraded communication systems, and ensured life support would run safely. Lyra watched as her crew slowly began to relax. Tension melted into trust just a little, but questions lingered. Why were humans so willing to help? What did they gain from saving them? Finally, Captain Rylan addressed the alien crew. You have survived the void today because you were lucky, and because humans act without hesitation when life is at stake. Your trust is your choice, but know this. We value life, even lives not our own. The words resonated. Lyra's antennas twitched as she realized something profound. The humans were not just rescuers. They were a force of courage and compassion, unmatched in the galaxy. And in that moment, floating in the void between stars, the alien crew felt a fragile hope bloom. For the first time, survival seemed possible, and the humans, they were no longer strangers, secrets of the warship. The alien crew followed quietly as human officers guided them deeper into the warship. The corridors stretched endlessly, glowing with soft blue light. Every step echoed faintly, making the aliens feel both small and out of place. Their tiny vessel had been a fragile shell. This ship felt like a living giant, awake and alert, carrying power in every hum of its engines. Captain Lyra studied everything. She noticed how the humans moved as one without hesitation. Each officer seemed to know their role without being told. Orders were short, crisp, never shouted, yet obeyed instantly. She wondered if this was what true discipline looked like. Her own crew often panicked, argued, wasted time, but here the humans acted like clockwork, smooth and precise. The aliens were led into a wide chamber. The walls glowed with streams of data, symbols shifting too fast for alien eyes to read. In the center stood a massive display of space itself, showing distant star systems and moving dots of ships. The human crew called it the Command Nexus. To the aliens, it felt like standing inside the heart of the galaxy. One alien, Joro, could not hold back his curiosity. His antennae twitched as he whispered, "They can see everything." From here, Lyra hushed him quickly, but even she could not deny the truth. Humans had sight beyond sight. A human officer noticed their awe and spoke gently. "This is how we monitor the void. Every distress call, every flicker of danger, we see it. That is why we reached you in time." The aliens exchanged nervous glances. If humans could see so much, what else did they know? While repairs continued on their ship, the alien crew was offered food and rest. The dining hall of the Aegis was vast, lined with long tables. Humans ate calmly, speaking in low voices while machines brought trays of food. The aliens tasted the strange meals, soft bread, rich stews, sweet fruits unlike any in their world. For the first time in days, their stomachs were full. Yet even as comfort settled in, unease lingered. One of the alien engineers, Kren, clutched a small sealed container hidden under his robes. His eyes darted nervously, scanning for humans who might notice. Inside the container was something he had sworn to protect, a crystal core humming faintly with forbidden energy. If the humans found it, they might confiscate it or worse, destroy them all. But fate had other plans. As the aliens sat in the dining hall, a soft vibration spread through the ship. Lights flickered once, twice. A low hum echoed in the walls. The humans reacted instantly, checking panels, scanning readings, but their faces remained calm. Captain Rylan entered, his tall figure commanding attention. "Nothing to fear. A minor fluctuation," he assured the room, but his sharp eyes lingered on the alien crew for a moment too long. Lyra felt her chest tighten. Did he know? Later, while the aliens rested in their assigned quarters, the hidden container began to pulse faintly. Its glow leaked through the fabric of Kren's robes, casting strange shadows on the walls. Teka, the young navigator, noticed it first. "What is that? Why is it glowing?" she whispered, fear lacing her voice. Kren silenced her with a glare. "It is nothing. Do not speak of it," but it was not nothing. The hum grew louder, resonating with the ship itself. Human sensors picked it up almost instantly. Red lines of alert scrolled across the Command Nexus screens. Within minutes, security officers were at the alien's door. The humans entered swiftly, but not violently. Captain Rylan himself stepped inside, his gaze firm. "One of you carries something that should not be here," he said simply. His tone was not angry, but heavy with certainty. Kren's heart pounded. He clutched the container tighter, debating whether to reveal it or resist. His crew stared at him in shock, betrayal written in their eyes. Lyra felt her blood run cold. If the humans thought they were hiding dangerous technology, they could end the rescue in an instant. "Show us," Rylan ordered quietly. The silence stretched. Every alien held their breath. Then slowly, with trembling hands, Kren lifted the container into view. The crystal core inside glowed brighter, filling the room with a strange light. The humans studied it carefully, their faces unreadable. Finally, Rylan spoke. "You risked your crew for this?" Kren stammered. "It is precious to my people. We could not leave it behind." For a long moment, the humans said nothing. The tension was unbearable. The alien crew waited for judgment. Would the humans cast them out or, worse, punish them? But then Rylan did something unexpected. He stepped closer, eyes calm, and said, "Life is always more precious than objects. But we will keep this safe. No harm will come to it, or to you." Relief washed through the room like a tide. The aliens exhaled together, the fear loosening its grip. Even Kren's eyes softened, his shame clear. Yet beneath the relief, new questions stirred. Why were the humans so merciful? What made them protect even those who hid secrets? As the warship continued its silent journey through the void, the aliens realized that every answer led to deeper mysteries. The humans were not just saviors, they were something far more unpredictable. And somewhere in the ship's depths, the crystal core still pulsed, its secret energy waiting to be revealed. Threat from within. The alien crew had begun to feel a strange sense of relief aboard the human warship. Systems were stable, oxygen flowing, and injuries treated. Yet relief was fragile. Fear lingered like a shadow, whispering warnings that danger could come from any direction, even from within. Captain Lyra paced the corridor outside the med bay, her three eyes scanning every movement. Humans moved with calm efficiency, but the aliens still felt the tension of being strangers in a colossal ship full of unknown technology. Each step echoed in the polished hallways, a reminder of how small and fragile their scout vessel had been. Then came the first sign. Teka, the youngest navigator, had gone to the observation deck to stare at the stars. She noticed something odd, a faint shadow moving along the docking bay. Someone. Her antennae twitched nervously as she realized one of the alien crew members, a usually calm engineer named Varn, was acting strangely. He was fiddling with the docking controls, muttering to himself, eyes darting around nervously. "Teka, what are you doing?" Lyra's voice snapped over the comms. Teka hesitated, then whispered, "Captain, Varn, he's doing something with the controls. Something he shouldn't." Lyra's mind raced. Panic flared, but she forced herself to think clearly. "Stay calm. I'll handle this," she said, moving quickly to the docking bay. Her crew followed, heartbeats pounding. Varn's hands were flying over the console, trying to override the human stabilizers. Sparks flew. Alarms sounded. The ship shuddered. Outside, the alien scout vessel trembled in its docking position, dangerously close to disaster. Humans reacted instantly. Officers rushed to the control panels, but they did not panic. Their movements were precise, calculated. Varn froze for a moment, realizing he had been caught. Fear and defiance flashed in his eyes. "I can't stay trapped here," he shouted, voice trembling. "They'll take everything." "We must escape." Captain Rylan appeared just behind the humans. His eyes, sharp and commanding, locked onto Varn. "Step away from the controls," he said, calm but unyielding. "Do not make a mistake you cannot undo." Varn hesitated, hands hovering over the keys. His fear was genuine, but so was his anger. "You don't understand. They'll take our ship, our data, everything we've worked for." The human officers didn't respond with words, they acted. With precise movements, they locked Varn in a restraint field, immobilizing him without harm. The alien crew watched in shock. No violence, no yelling, just swift, controlled action. Lyra stepped forward, trying to calm her crew. "He panicked," she said quietly. "We all would if we were in his place. But humans, they handle threats differently. They don't attack blindly." Varn struggled against the field, his voice rising. "You don't know what you're doing." "You'll betray us." Captain Rylan's voice cut through the tension, steady and unshakable. "We are here to save lives, not destroy them. Any attempt to sabotage this ship will put everyone at risk, including yourself. Choose to cooperate and you live. Resist and you endanger everyone aboard, including your own people." The restraint field pulsated softly, a warning more than a punishment. Slowly, Varn's anger gave way to fear. The reality of the humans' calm, unyielding authority sank in. He realized they were not bluffing, not threatening without reason. Humans acted with precision and intelligence, and they would stop at nothing to protect life. Lyra placed a hand on Varn's shoulder, speaking in a quiet, steady voice. "Varn, listen. These humans saved us from death just hours ago. If you destroy what they built, we all die. Trust me. We have no other choice." Varn's shoulders slumped, and he finally nodded, the fight leaving him. The restraint field disengaged. The human officers stepped back, watching carefully but without hostility. The danger had passed, but the tension lingered in the air. Tekka exhaled slowly, antennae relaxing. "I thought we were lost," she admitted. Lyra nodded. "Almost, but this is what makes humans different. They don't just fight the universe. They fight the fear inside us." The alien crew began to understand the true nature of their rescuers. Humans were not reckless or blindly brave. Their courage was measured, intelligent, and deeply moral. They valued life, even lives they did not know. And that was something entirely new to the aliens. Hours later, the human officers repaired minor damage from Varn's sabotage. They explained the ship's systems patiently, showing the aliens how each stabilizer, each restraint field, and every sensor worked. The aliens were amazed, not just by technology, but by the humans' composure under pressure. By the end of the day, the alien crew felt a fragile trust forming. They had seen fear, anger, and betrayal on their own ship, but humans had met each threat with skill, intelligence, and restraint. The lesson was clear. Survival in deep space required more than strength. It required courage, control, and compassion. As the stars shimmered outside the warship's observation deck, Lyra realized something profound. Humans were not only their saviors, they were a new standard of heroism in the galaxy. And perhaps, she thought quietly, the universe had more to learn from them than anyone had realized. The night passed in uneasy calm, but deep in her mind, Lyra knew one thing: danger could return at any moment. Not all threats came from outside. And humans would be ready for whatever came next. Chase. Through the nebula. The human warship, Aegis, moved with quiet precision, leading the alien scout vessel out of the calm orbit of the distant star system. The alien crew was still shaken from Varn's sabotage, but now another fear took its place, a new threat. Sensors on the Aegis had detected a hostile fleet, moving quickly through the outer edges of the nebula. "Enemy ships," Captain Ryland said calmly over the comms, his voice steady yet commanding. "They have detected your presence. We will escort you through the nebula. Stay close. Follow our maneuvers exactly." The alien crew exchanged nervous glances. The nebula was notorious. Dense clouds of gas and electromagnetic interference that could scramble sensors and disable engines. Many ships had disappeared there, never to be seen again. Captain Lyra's antennas twitched anxiously. "Are you sure they can't catch us?" she asked, her voice tense. Ryland's calm answer came unwavering. "They may try, but we are faster, smarter, and prepared. Trust us or you will not survive." The chase began. Outside, the stars blurred behind the clouds of the nebula. Thick, swirling gases painted everything in green and purple hues, like a cosmic storm. The alien scout ship shuddered with every turbulence. The human warship stayed ahead, slicing through the dense clouds with unerring precision. From the observation deck, Tekka pressed her antennae to the glass, eyes wide. "It's beautiful, but terrifying," she whispered. Lightning-like streaks of ionized gas flashed through the nebula, illuminating the darkness in violent bursts. "Focus on survival, not beauty," Lyra snapped, though her voice trembled slightly. The first enemy ship appeared, a sleek black vessel cutting through the nebula with lethal intent. Its weapon systems glowed red, scanning for targets. The alien crew froze. Their tiny scout ship could not outrun a human warship, much less an enemy fleet. But humans had taught them that courage was more than speed. "Maintain formation," Rylan ordered. The Aegis maneuvered with a fluid grace, banking sharply through the nebula, dodging energy bursts from the enemy ships. The aliens held tight, following every instruction. Hearts pounding, sparks flew outside as the enemy fired plasma bolts. The Aegis countered with defensive shields, pushing the energy away, while minor bursts of human fire disrupted the attackers' sensors. The alien crew felt the sheer power and precision of human tactics. Every move calculated, every action deliberate. "This is insane," shouted Joro, gripping the railing. "We will never survive this." Lyra's voice, calm but firm, cut through the panic. "We survive because humans are guiding us. Follow their lead or we die." The chase intensified. The nebula's clouds shifted unpredictably, hiding threats and revealing dangers without warning. Enemy ships fired blindly, hoping to hit something, anything. The alien scout ship lurched with every near miss, systems straining under the pressure. "Hold steady. Adjust your thrusters," Lyra ordered, sweat dripping from her brow. She watched as Rylan and his officers executed a daring plan. The Aegis dove into a dense cloud of plasma, creating a dazzling storm that masked both ships from enemy sensors. Blinding flashes and magnetic storms raged around them, but the humans navigated with certainty. The alien crew gasped as they followed the warship into the storm. Lightning arcs danced around the nebula clouds, making shadows flicker across their consoles. Every second felt like hours. Every decision could mean death. Suddenly, one of the enemy ships emerged from the plasma storm, firing directly at the scout vessel. Lyra's hands flew across the controls, attempting to evade. But the human warship was faster. In a single maneuver, the Aegis moved between the enemy fire and the alien ship, shielding it with an energy barrier that absorbed the plasma blasts. The alien crew stared in awe. Humans did not just fight, they protected, calculated, and risked themselves for others. 'Twas bravery beyond comprehension. Minutes stretched. The nebula twisted and churned, a living maze of danger. Enemy ships continued pursuit, but the humans led their alien charges expertly, using every shadow, every storm, and every cloud as cover. The aliens were beginning to believe in the human skill. Perhaps for the first time they felt hope. Finally, after what felt like endless hours, the nebula began to thin. Light from distant stars pierced through the gas clouds, illuminating the path to safety. The enemy ships had lost track, unable to navigate the dense nebula as precisely as the humans. "Almost there," Rylan said over the comms, his voice calm but triumphant. "Stay alert until we reach the open corridor. The danger is not over until you are clear." The alien crew breathed in unison. Relief mingled with exhaustion and disbelief. They had survived the chase through the most dangerous part of the nebula, and it was the humans' courage, skill, and intelligence that had saved them. Lyra looked at her crew. "They risked everything for us," she whispered. "Not for reward, not for glory, just because they could." For the first time, the alien crew understood something about humans. In a universe where survival often meant betrayal, cunning, or cruelty, humans acted differently. They acted with purpose, courage, and a willingness to risk themselves for others. That truth was more astonishing than any weapon, more powerful than any shield. And as the human warship led them toward the edge of the nebula, the alien crew felt a fragile, growing trust. They were still in danger, still far from home. But now they knew there was someone willing to fight for them without hesitation, without question, and that knowledge made all the difference. The rescue revealed. The alien scout ship floated safely now, its systems humming steadily under the guidance of the humans. The chase through the nebula was over, yet a quiet tension remained aboard the alien vessel. The crew's fear had transformed into curiosity, and slowly, respect. Humans had risked everything to save them, not for credit, not for reward, but simply because lives mattered. Captain Lyra stood at the observation deck, staring at the stars streaking past the ship. The alien crew gathered around, whispering in their own language, sharing nervous excitement. They had survived impossible odds, and yet questions filled the air. Why were humans so fearless? Why had they acted so decisively without hesitation? Captain Rylan appeared beside Lyra. His expression was calm, almost gentle, but his presence radiated authority. "You've seen how humans act in danger," he said quietly. "But there is more you don't yet know. Your survival today was no accident. We do this for every life in the galaxy, every ship in distress, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary." Lyra's antennas twitched. "Do you really do this for everyone?" she asked, disbelief in her voice. Rylan nodded. "Yes, many do not survive, but we answer every distress call. Delay could mean death. We act because life is precious. That is our choice. That is what defines us." The alien crew was silent, absorbing his words. It was unlike anything they had heard from other species. Humans did not act out of fear, greed, or power. They acted out of principle. They valued life, even the lives of beings they had never met before. Meanwhile, in the repair bay, human engineers worked on restoring minor damages to the alien scout ship. They moved efficiently, yet with care, explaining each repair to the aliens. Tekka watched fascinated. They are so strong. But gentle at the same time, she whispered to Joro. Stronger than any fleet we know, Joro replied, eyes wide. And smarter. Every move is perfect. Even against the nebula storm and the enemy fleet, they never panicked. Lyra smiled faintly. Humans were unlike any species she had encountered. They had not only saved them physically, but had also shown them a new kind of courage, a bravery that combined intelligence, compassion, and action. Then came a new revelation. The humans revealed that the aliens were not the first ship they had saved in this sector. In fact, dozens of ships had been rescued before, many from situations far more dangerous than theirs. Each rescue was a calculated risk, each mission a test of courage and skill. Do you realize, Rylan said, his voice calm but firm, how rare it is to risk everything for another life in this part of space? Most species act only for themselves. Humans act differently, and that difference is what allowed you to survive today. The alien crew exchanged glances. They understood something profound. Humans were not just warriors or explorers. They were protectors, a force that valued life above all else. Lyra felt a swell of admiration she had never expected, but with hope came a moral choice. The humans explained that they could only escort part of the alien fleet to the safe station. Resources were limited, and the enemy threat was still nearby. Some aliens would have to stay behind temporarily, relying on the nebula and other hiding strategies to survive. Lyra felt a pang of worry. We cannot leave anyone behind, she whispered. But Rylan's voice was steady. We will take as many as possible. We will return for the rest. You must trust us. The alien crew reluctantly agreed. Trust was a difficult thing for them, but humans had earned it with courage and compassion. Boarding procedures began. The aliens who would travel with the humans moved cautiously, but with growing confidence. Those remaining behind prepared defensive measures following instructions to the letter. As the last alien entered the human warship, Lyra turned to Rylan. You did not just save us, she said softly. You changed what we thought courage was. Rylan nodded, eyes serious. Courage is not just about fighting. It is about protecting, helping, and making choices that preserve life. We hope you carry this lesson forward. The alien crew watched from the observation deck as the human warship moved steadily toward open space, leaving the edge of the nebula behind. The stars sparkled as if celebrating their survival, but Lyra knew better. It was humans who had carved a path through chaos using skill, courage, and an unyielding moral compass. Finally, Lyra spoke, her voice carrying to her crew. Humans, they are not just a species. They are an example. Today they saved us and they taught us what it means to act without hesitation, to risk everything for life. Remember this. Never forget it. The alien crew nodded, a quiet bond forming between them and the humans. For the first time, they felt that survival was not just about luck or strategy. It was about courage, compassion, and the rare willingness to act without hesitation for others. And in the silent hum of the human warship, drifting through the stars, Lyra knew one truth. Humans were a force that would change the galaxy not through conquest, but through courage and mercy. The stars stretched before them endless and bright. And for the first time in what felt like forever, the alien crew felt safe, inspired, and truly alive. Safe haven, the human warship. Aegis emerged from the shifting clouds of the nebula, its hull glowing faintly against the starlight. The alien scout vessel followed closely, systems stable at last. For the first time in days, Captain Lyra's crew could breathe without fear of immediate death. Yet the journey was not over. Beyond the nebula, dangers still lurked, and the path to safety was uncertain. The humans had promised to escort them to a neutral station, a place where repairs, food, and medical aid could be secured. But between the nebula and the station lay hostile patrol routes, scanners, and roaming fleets eager to destroy anyone who strayed into their territory. Captain, said Rylan over the comms, his voice steady as always, stay close to our warship. We will shield you from detection. The station is near, but we must pass through one last corridor. If the enemy is waiting, we fight. If not, we guide you straight to safety." Lyra nodded, her antennae twitching nervously. She trusted Rylan now more than anyone she had known in her career, but the fear of betrayal and ambush still pressed on her chest. "We'll follow," she said softly, though her crew heard the tremor in her voice. The journey began. The ships glided through the darkness, their engines silent against the void. For long minutes, nothing stirred. The alien crew dared to believe they might escape without incident. Hope sparked like a fragile flame, then the sensors lit up red. Hostile vessels, 2, then 3, then 5, emerged from the shadows, weapons charging. The alien crew gasped in horror. Their tiny ship could never stand against so many, but the humans did not flinch. On the Aegis, orders rang out with sharp precision. "Raise shields. Arm weapons. Protect the scout vessel at all costs." The alien crew braced for impact, but what followed stunned them. The human warship surged forward, intercepting every enemy blast. Its shields glowed as plasma fire struck, sparks sprang across its hull. With swift counterfire, the Aegis unleashed a barrage that forced the enemy to scatter. "Stay behind us," Rylan commanded. The alien scout ship obeyed, trembling in the wake of the humans' courage. The battle raged like thunder across the stars. Enemy ships circled like wolves, but the humans fought like a wall of steel, unyielding and fearless. Every maneuver, every strike was calculated to protect the vulnerable alien vessel. Inside the scout ship, Tekka's eyes widened in awe. "They fight for us," she whispered, voice trembling. "Not for themselves, not for power, only for us." Joro gripped the railing, shaking his head in disbelief. No other species would risk so much. No one. The battle reached its peak. Enemy ships tried to flank, but the Aegis blocked every path, its weapons firing with relentless precision. For every strike the enemies launched, the humans answered with double force, not to destroy but to drive them back. Finally, as if realizing the futility, the hostile fleet broke off, retreating into the void. Silence filled the comms. The stars glowed once more. The path ahead was clear. The alien crew erupted into cheers and tears. Relief washed over them, stronger than any they had felt before. For the first time, they truly understood. Their lives had been bought with human courage, human sacrifice, and human will. As the station came into view, a gleaming structure orbiting a quiet planet, Lyra's heart swelled. They had made it. They were alive because one human warship had answered without hesitation. Docking began smoothly. The alien crew prepared to disembark, each one glancing back at the humans with gratitude too deep for words. Lyra approached Rylan on the docking bridge. Her voice trembled, but her eyes held firm respect. "You saved us," she said. "Not only our ship, but our faith. You showed us that courage is more than survival. It is sacrifice. It is action. It is humanity." Rylan gave a small nod. "Remember what you saw today. Carry it forward. One day it may be you who answers without hesitation." The words struck deep. Lyra knew they would never forget. The humans had not just saved their lives, they had changed them. As the alien crew stepped onto the station, they turned back one last time. The Aegis floated in the starlight, strong and silent, its hull scarred from battle but unbroken. To the aliens, it was not just a warship. It was a beacon. In the silent void of space, legends were often born from fear, greed, or conquest. But on this day, in this part of the galaxy, a new legend was written. One of humans who answered every call, who fought not for gain but for life itself. And in every heart of Lyra's crew, the truth echoed forever. Humans act without hesitation, and because of that, the galaxy would never be the same.